that's all pretty self-explanatory. It's obvious that if I'm acting for myself and my own selfish, self-centered needs and aims, then I am separate, and I separate myself from everything, from everyone, and I'm thinking of all of the deeds that are outcroppings of selfish, self-centered action, harming others, every possible abuse that would take place that is in some sense a disconnect from the wholeness of the fabric of existence, the wholeness of my life, which includes everything and everyone. Would be hard to harm myself in that way if I understood what the completeness was. Now, having established the concept of karma-free action, action that doesn't build up karma for the future, that I have actions that are possible, that are selfless, that are for a manifestation of what's higher in a way that is in alignment. And then Krishna takes the next 5 verses, 25 through 30, to describe different methods of which people can and do selfless action. And there's many different ways that they can manifest, and he goes through them. Different kinds of giving, caring for others, offerings, assistance, financial, spiritual support. The list goes on, and it's again framed more in his time period, but it's understandable. All of these are possible actions that are fulfilling and feeding for one's inner life. The I think important point is there isn't one specific kind of action or one kind of manifestation. They're noticeably outward. They're noticeably connected to others. That's an important point here. Again, that's, I don't want to jump ahead, but in chapter 5 there's going to be the question of what's the difference between a meditative practice, a spiritual practice, an inward practice, and being taught, and the teachings of manifestations in one's day, and how one lives an inner life on a daily basis in a world that's so incredibly disconnected from an inner life, and how these two different kinds of teachings seem to be in conflict. Okay, so that's what chapter 5 is going to be about. But here he is just going through the list of how you can manifest and what karma-free action is. And once again, it's not, as many traditions have prescribed methods of action, rules and laws and monastic vows, and you know, he's saying all well and good, but those are fixing the truth with a capital T by trying to live according to these very complex set of daily rules. And most traditions have sects of followers that prefer this kind of monastic teaching, and that's an aspect, and it applies to some character, but it's not, Krishna's not advocating that. As on the contrary, he's advocating a full life. As opposed to many teachers, Krishna is full of life. He lives life in all, as a warrior, as a manifestation, as a lover, as a friend, as a teacher. He's in life fully, and has no qualms about how many kinds of activities or how full one's life is. That's one of the real appeals of his teaching, as I am in a daily existence that has demands, family, friends, careers, and is this stuff to be renounced? And what he's saying is that absolutely no. What renounced is the bondage to the results, to the fruits of the action. I'm entirely caught up in what I want out of it, and what he's saying is that more problematic is that what I want out of it is for my own self-satisfaction, self-gain, self-praise, self-worth, in the worst sense of the word. All of these kinds of things. And in verse 32, he is again giving the descriptions, and was talking those that devote to yogic practices with a view to gaining the inner poise which will enable them to keep their balance in the whirlpool of activity and to hold out helping hands to others in due season. All these, and this is into 33, all these strive to sacrifice themselves in various ways to the Atman who is in all, and all these sacrifices culminate in the wisdom sacrifice, an effort to gain the life-giving wisdom, not again in order that oneself may be wise, but because in wisdom lies the salvation for all. All action and all efforts find their completion in the gaining of that wisdom. But just as life springs only from other lives, so the flame of wisdom can come only from the contact with those in whose heart it already shines. Well, again, it's a higher order that we're reaching out for, and we're being asked to understand how this manifests, this teaching, this wisdom manifests, and how we ourselves manifest it in our lives. It's in order to bring it into my day, I need to be able to understand the flow and be open and porous so that it can come in and then pass through me in a